This is the pre-live stream This is not the real live stream. I'm just getting everything going right now, making sure Firefox is my default browser, which is a very important thing to do, because Firefox is pretty much the bomb. I also need to actually open up the Twitch TV chat so that I can sort of monitor what you guys are doing over there. Set up some moderators. twitch.tv/LinusTech. I also made the YouTube video a little bit early this week, so I screwed up and it said the live stream is now. And so if anyone actually follows this over here from YouTube, then they'll be really disappointed if there's no live stream. And I didn't want anyone from YouTube to be disappointed tonight. And I don't want anyone from Twitch to be disappointed either. There's a red dot. Holy crap. Look at the chat. There's a red dot. Wow. All right. There we are. Hey, everybody. How's my sound tonight? Is it better? Are we good? Are we cool? It's way better, right? Yeah, we know it's live. You guys in the chat, you guys are unbelievable. How many times do you need to say that it's live? There's a red thing in the corner. Yeah, we don't have any topics yet, so I'm just here kind of chilling for now. I do have some topics for tonight. I'll put them here in my Chrome window. See, I'm doing something with them. See, I'm putting them there. And then I'm going to change back to that. Okay, topics for tonight. Someone wanted me to do a Linus career tips segment. So, what the hey, right? I mean, if you're going to take advice from a guidance counselor, then you might as well take advice from me. Not that there's anything wrong with being a guidance counselor. It's just like I don't think anyone goes to their guidance counselor's office and they're like, yeah, I really want to be a guidance counselor. How do I be just like you? I just don't think it happens. I mean, it might. I could be totally wrong. I mean, shout out to all the guidance counselors in the audience. Thank you for guiding us. I mean, I was having a funny conversation with someone. It must have been about 2 days ago, and basically, I was marveling at the job that I have because it wasn't that long ago that YouTube didn't exist. I mean, I graduated from high school in 2004, which basically means that YouTube didn't exist yet, and I had actually completely forgotten that there was no YouTube when I was still in school. So how could any guidance counselor have told me that I could, you know what, I'm going to turn off the audio monitoring here because it's driving me crazy. I can hear this echo in my head. So I was marveling that no guidance counselor could have ever told me, oh yeah, you know what, you can be like a YouTube guy as like a job, and that can be part of your job, or it can be your whole job, or it can be anything. And Avo, you are right on time because we are just starting actually in 5 minutes. This is just the pre-show. So maybe, you know what, maybe I'll do that story later. I'm going to be like the radio where I pre-announce what stuff I'm going to talk about, and then I actually don't talk about it for like 15 minutes, and I make you guys sit through commercials. Let's do an iPhone commercial. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I don't remember the Apple Music. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That is a pre-show dance. I mean, singing. I'm singing and dancing. What do you guys mean, do a pre-show dance? Yeah, lol, don't. I know, right? Hold on. I got to pop out the chat as well. Let me just, hold on. First. Let me just make a note in my topics for tonight email thread that I started to myself. I mean, who emails themselves? Do you guys email yourself? Are you like grocery shopping and you're like, oh, that's a great idea, and do you just send yourself an email? I do it all the time. I actually get as many emails from myself as I get from anyone else. So I need to tell the story. Oh, crap, I don't even remember what story I was telling anymore. Tell the story about guidance counselors. Counselors. I don't remember how to spell counselors, but it's not autocorrecting me, so let's assume that that's right. All right, sweet. So I need to see who all is in the chat here so I can see if I have any moderators tonight. Oh, I've got Fuzzy Otterballs. Sweet. And I have 4 moderators. What do you guys think? Is 4 moderators enough for tonight? We had some spam last week, and that was pretty obnoxious. And I do like to have the chat on fast mode. I do prefer that. Need more. Need more? How to be mod? This guy's a moderator in the future? All right, Evo, you can be oh, no, you can't be a moderator. I don't even see the option here. A couple more mods wouldn't hurt. All right, Lily. Okay, it's moving too fast. It's moving too fast. How do I freeze it? You guys, hey, Fuzzy Otterballs. You guys need, other than fast mode and slow mode, you need a freeze button. So I can just freeze it for a sec. Unless you have that and I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't see that. So yeah, fuzzy otterballs. Great idea, free of charge. Freeze mode. Okay, try and hit someone here. I'm not even getting the option. You know what? 4 should be enough. 4 should be enough. How many people do we have watching the stream so far? Wow, we've got 500 people watching and the show hasn't even started yet. I should do this pre-show thing more often because apparently you guys will watch even when I'm not doing any kind of a live show. I should just not do a live show at all. I should just do a live stream about how I'm not doing a live show tonight. Maybe that'll be next week. Can I get some votes for that idea? What do you guys think? Pretty good? Pretty cool? All right, let me move this. Let's move this Twitch chat thing here. I'm gonna move the live stream monitoring thing so that I don't have to look at it. I'm just gonna keep it open in the corner there so I can make sure it's actually working. So guys, I have made some serious upgrades to my setup tonight, and I want to tell you all about it in the 2 minutes leading up to our live stream. So number one is I have replaced the headset I was using before, that ancient ass Sennheiser one. I have replaced that with a SteelSeries 7H, which I love, and the mic is awesome and the headphones are awesome. And I have also changed. I have found that the best sound card solution is the Zonar U3. So this is a little USB sound card that's fantastic. I know the audio's cracking. I touched the mic. There's some weirdness going on. That's why I have the cap like propped under it here so that it won't foobar itself. Also, I have stopped using my power line connection and I have run an Ethernet cable from all the way upstairs, like through that door over there, upstairs to my switch, and I have a full gigabit connection down here this time. So no more wireless, no more power line. I'm in the kitchen, so there's a lot of powerful devices going on around here that are like they're lined in their power and they're interfering with my power line network. It's just not working for me. I'm getting like 3.5 megabytes per second overall, and plus it's recording my live stream that I'm doing here to my NAS at the same time as I'm streaming it. So I think I just don't have the network bandwidth for it. So having that gigabit pipe is going to make things so much better. And Madness XL says, Linus, please read this. And I did, but I didn't see the point because you didn't actually say anything. But I think you would... See, I don't... this is weird. The mic quality is really not that great. Yeah, I know, it's not that great, but it's better than before, which is important. Actually, we've got... My gear is on its way. If you guys are following me on Twitter, then you'll probably already know this, but if you're not following me on Twitter, you should follow me at Linus Tech. That's an @ sign, like, Twitter thing, @ I'm new to Twitter, so it's sort of confusing to me. Like when I'm reading tweets, I'm like something at Linus Tech, but what they actually mean is just something Linus Tech, and it just blows my mind. But yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, then you already know I just spent 13 grand. Yes, that's 1-3 with 3 more zeros after it on new gear. Oh, yeah, it hurts me. I actually got my shipping notification yesterday. So I bought myself an FS700. Yes, that is an $8,500 camera with the kit lens. I bought myself a new shotgun mic. I bought myself two HDMI capture cards. So we are going to be doing an A roll and a B roll in future unboxings. We're going to have 2 rolls. I bought myself a new tripod, a new head for the tripod. What else did I get? I got new lights. I got Kino Flows. It cost me 3 grand for 2 of these things, 2 kits with stands. So we are talking some serious upgrading in terms of the quality around here, because right now I am using a webcam and I am using this microphone and I'm using this sound card. And I'll also be using a desktop to capture all of the video and all of the audio in the future, which is, I mean, I love this MSI notebook. I really do. It's a notebook, and I heart my desktop experience. The curry was amazing, by the way. You must follow me on Twitter, whatever your name is. I missed it. The chat is moving so fast that I can't even do it. But yes, the curry is excellent. Yes, see, that right there, that is where the coconut rice lives. See, that's my Tiger rice cooker. And that right there, that is where the curry is. And you are like so not having any. I am so keeping that curry for myself. I'm gonna have curry for breakfast tomorrow. It's gonna be outstanding, and I'm gonna it's gonna hurt me all day. You guys are telling me to slow down? Or are you telling me to... Why don't I stream on my PC? That's a fantastic question. So I have a new baby at home. He is 5 months old now, and he is sleeping this time of night. I know I've been asked quite a few times to adjust the timing of my live streams so that I do them earlier in the day for people who live on the East Coast. But the problem is that I just got home from work an hour and a half ago, and I knew that I had to figure out this microphone, and I had to figure out that Ethernet cable. So if I committed to a start time of 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock my time or anything like that, then I would have had a real problem because I wouldn't have made it in time. So there you go. That's pretty much the deal. You know what? I'm going to pause for a second here. I want to check YouTube really quick just to make sure that my link is correct. I mean, we've got a fair number of people watching the live stream already, but you know, it never hurts. I mean, I know what community made me big, and I love Twitch, and I love that people are following me on Twitch, and that's really cool stuff. Yep, he says murder link is fail. It looks like I put the wrong link in my video. I do that kind of thing. www.twitch. Oh, okay, hold on. No, the link is fine. What's he talking about? Link is fail. I'll show you a fail link. I'll copy and paste it back in just in case I screwed it up the first time. There we go. All right. But yeah, so I hope that some of you Twitchers are starting to follow along here, and I know that I need to do more like gaming hardware type of Q&A, otherwise there's zero justification for having me on this website whatsoever. But there's just so much stuff that people are asking that's not really that related to that. I will be taking questions on Twitter tonight, by the way, guys. I know that not all of you like Twitter, and yeah, there's just not a whole lot I can do about that because Twitter is one of the most convenient ways for me to manage incoming questions because I can control how quickly they come in, whereas the Twitch chat is pretty difficult for me to monitor. I mean, stuff's coming in so fast. Milova Army says you have an SV650. I do. I have an SV650S, and I am super duper disappointed because my insurance ran out today. So today was my last day to ride it, and I wasn't able to ride it because I was too tired this morning, and it's not safe to ride if you're tired. Yeah. So that again, yeah, that was super disappointing to me, and I'm having a hard time signing into Twitter over here. So I'm gonna have to go find myself a browser where I'm already signed into Twitter, and I'll try using that one. Maybe if I hadn't talked so much during the part of this pre-live stream thing where I wasn't supposed to be talking so much, maybe if I hadn't done that, I would be ready by the time the live stream was actually rolling. Let's see. Oh, okay. Good. I think it's open in Firefox. Okay, let's bet. Where's my Firefox? Where's my Firefox? Where's my Twitter? Come on. Need my Twitter. There we go. Yes. I have Twitter now. I was gonna have Twitter open in Safari just to troll you guys, and I was gonna see if anyone noticed, but it looks like we're just gonna stick with good old Firefox, pretty much the best browser ever. It crashes on me all the time, but it's still better than everything else, so that should tell you what I think of pretty much everything else there is out there. Show us your baby. My baby's in one of the videos that I've done so far, and yeah, I think he's pretty cute. I tweet pictures of him every once in a while. I think I was saying something about Twitter. Yes, I'll be taking questions predominantly on Twitter, predominantly like this. So that will be the main way of us handling questions here tonight. Okay, so let's kick this off. Let's start with my thing about guidance counselors. So I was marveling to a friend that actually two things. I was marveling to a friend about that thing I talked about last week, where kids today aren't going to know how to get anywhere because they're just going to rely on GPS for everything. And we were talking about just how fast the world's changing. And I mean, it's crazy, but it's almost been 10 years since I was in high school, and I don't really feel that much older. But here I am. I've been at a job, like in a career for 6, 7 years now. I have a baby. I'm married. I've bought a house. So life is kind of just going like this, right? And so yeah, so YouTube didn't start till 2004, and I graduated in 2004, which basically means that. When I sat down and I was talking to my guidance counselor, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about, at the time I wanted to be a teacher, or, I wanted to get like a science degree, and then I wanted to just kind of figure out what I could do with that. And I think the challenge that a lot of people who get science degrees run into is that they discover that really lab work, continuing education, I can't hear you. People are saying they can't hear me. Everyone else says it's fine, so we're going to go with it's fine. Lab work, they go with continuing education. They get their master's degree, or they go all the way to get their PhD, and then they become professors, which is basically just teacher again. And I wasn't really very good at school. And anyway, so we're talking to the guidance counselor. I'm all over the place tonight. So I'm talking to him. We're talking about being a teacher. So really the only options back then, if you wanted to be a TV star or something. I mean, reality TV was around, but it was very, very limited. Um, wasn't like it is today. There was no such thing as a Kim Kardashian. There wasn't someone who was, like a Paris Hilton, where they're a socialite. Like that's their job description. So there was no way, 8, 9, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, I guess, that anyone could have advised me that this would exist. I mean, never mind the new setup I'm getting, which is going to allow us to do a fairly high production value live show on a weekly basis or more than weekly basis or whatever we end up doing. The ability to broadcast basically almost, I mean, what then would have been TV grade quality stuff on a consumer internet connection from your house with, like, I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, yes, I just spent $13,000 on equipment. That's nothing compared to what that would have cost 10 years ago. Nothing. And so yeah, no one stood a chance. I mean, all these careers are just popping up. I was talking to my friend's dad. He was like, "Yeah, when I was a kid living on the island, you had a couple choices when you graduated high school. You were going to work in the mill for 40 years, or you were going to work on the boats for 40 years. Everything is so different now, totally, totally different. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool." So speaking of guidance counselors, my first topic tonight is someone asked, I forget who requested this on Twitter, but someone asked me to do something on Linus career tips, talk about the various careers and jobs that are available in computers and IT. Now, I'm not going to talk about programming. I'm not going to talk about any of the professional stuff because I believe the context he was asking this in was along the lines of what I do. So I started as a retail sales rep. As a retail sales rep, you know what? You can actually do okay, especially if you're knowledgeable. I mean, the approach I always took was, yeah, I upsold people. I always upsell people because I actually genuinely believe nobody should buy a TN monitor. I genuinely believe nobody should buy a video card for less than $100 or like $89.99 when it's on promo, because the stuff that is under those price points is not good. They're not going to be happy with it. So if you are truly enthusiastic, I think that sales is easy. I think that if you are really a car enthusiast and you love the cars, and in your free time you come into the dealership and you drive all the cars so that you are knowledgeable and you're educated and you can inform customers, then you can actually do okay. I mean, as a retail sales rep at NCIX, I actually did better than I did for my first year after I transferred to head office. The other one is tech work. Tech work is really challenging, though, because there's a variety of different things available. I mean, is there anyone in the audience who is a Best Buy Geek Squad member? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the leg. I'm going to see if anyone out there is a Best Buy Geek Squad member. And tell us, is it tough? No, no, me, killer clown says he is. So there's a couple different kinds of actually there's a lot of different ways you can do tech. You can do freelance, so you can try putting up like flyers everywhere and getting people to come and bring their computers to you for fixing. And you know what? You can actually make a pretty good hourly rate, but it's really hard to find clients. If you go to a bigger chain like someone like a Best Buy, you can end up working in the store where you get people bringing in things like, I mean, honestly, Slick used to work at Best Buy as a tech, and the stories he tells, I'm just like, what? I mean, he one of the other texts there actually advised the customer. I forget the context of it, but advised the customer if he wanted to remove the screen on his laptop. I don't even remember why the customer wanted to do this, but if he was going to do that, he could just saw it off, and then there'd be a way to connect it. And that's the kind of ludicrous stuff that goes on there. And then if you're one of the mobile guys, then you're mobile. So basically, if you're freelance and you can get enough clients, yeah, you can do okay. Whereas if you join one of those bigger chains, they're going to try and pay you an hourly rate. They're going to try and not give you a ton of commission. Something like NCIX is somewhere in the middle where you have enough clients, you do get a decent commission on everything you do, and you can make a decent living at it. But if you're not willing to teach yourself, it comes down to the same thing as sales. If you're not willing to read Anantech, Tom's Hardware, Hard OCP, whatever sites you like, whatever forums, go to Hardware Canucks. If you're not willing to do it every day and help people and learn and see what works and see what doesn't work, then you'll be a total failure at it. Back up the mic from my mouth. Okay, there you go. You guys good? You cool? Um, Right. So I did some sales. I did a very small amount of tech. They didn't want me doing tech because I was really good at sales. I was always selling like these massive systems that had like dual graphics cards and stuff because I believed in this stuff. I was like, yeah, this stuff's cool. You should totally buy it so that I can build it for you and play with it before I give it to you. I mean, that was the kind of guy I was, right? Right. So I mean, you can store manager. For store manager, I'd say it's a totally different skill set because you don't actually necessarily need to know anything about the technology. A good manager can manage anything. I believe that's true, the same way that I believe a good salesman can sell anything. However, the overlap between good salespeople, like salespeople by nature, and guys who are super into technology, enthusiast guys, is actually not that big. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but aren't we mostly a little bit introverted? We mostly like to be at home on a Friday night. I mean, it's Friday night. You guys are watching me, so I think we all know the answer to that. Um, so the way to succeed, I think, from that sales role or that tech role is to be that true enthusiast who's really, really trying to learn and really trying to be passionate. I mean, I never took a course for computer stuff. I just read and read and read all day, all night. I'd be up till who knows in the morning, reading every forum and every review. So even if I hadn't laid hands on a current generation motherboard, I could tell you how to overclock it. I could tell you what CPUs were optimized for it. I could tell you what RAM works, what RAM doesn't work. That's the only way you're ever going to succeed. Okay, moving right along. People who want to do this on the side, I have a lot of people, whether it's posting on the NCIX forum or whether it's messaging me, they tell me, Linus, I want to like build computers for people, and I want to like buy the parts at the local store and get a relationship with them, so I get a good deal, and then I want to build it for someone, and then I want to make a couple bucks. And I always tell these people the same thing, and I feel bad because it's bad news, and I don't like giving people bad news, but the reality of it is there is no money in it. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this or if you understand this, but in the IT industry on a motherboard, there's no profit. So the best discount, like the best deal you're going to get from whatever store you're working with is probably a couple percent off. And when we're talking something that costs $200, we're talking like $5, maybe $10 if you're really persistent off of a sticker price. Okay, so then how much can you charge someone to assemble a PC for them? I mean, usually, NCIX charges $50 and they throw in a 1-year warranty. Let me tell you, if you have one support issue with that PC, that $50 is gone. It's gone. You just have to be sure that everything you sell is going to not come back. Um, so yes, okay. So there's no money in assembling it because guys like HP or those big box guys are just building these things on assembly lines like this. How are you going to compete with that? And then you've got stores like an NCIX or you've got guys like an iBuyPower who are assembling the PCs with a production system behind it so that it costs them very little to do. So there's no money there either. The the recommendation I give to these people is if you're still in high school and you're just looking to like make $5 on the side or $10 here and there and you're looking to do it as a hobby, where you're helping people, you're letting people come to you, and you're just kind of being like, yeah, hey, let me assemble it for you. You can take a couple bucks for consulting with them and helping them get better value out of the system. I mean, that was one of the things I always loved doing. People would bring me these computers, and they'd be like spending $2,000, and I'd look at it and I'd go, you're buying an Extreme Edition. Your computer costs $2,000. That is a terrible value. You shouldn't be buying an Extreme Edition unless your computer costs $5,000. Otherwise, the balance is completely out of whack. It's not right. You need to be spending less on your CPU, and you need to amp up your graphics card performance in order to make a more balanced rig. So I'd do a couple things. Sometimes I'd get them the same performance, and I'd lower the price by a little bit. Or other times I'd go, look, you're spending this much money. Let me help you. Let me get you 20%, 30% better performance. And so if you're able to do that as someone who's doing this on the side, then that's one of the ways that you can distinguish yourself as well. Again, it's not going to work without super hard work and researching everything. You have to be sure, because one support call will cost you anything you could have possibly made on that transaction. Oh yeah, this was an idea I had. Oh crap, you know what? I'm totally going to bail on you guys for a second. So let's put up, like, I don't know, the Twitter feed or something. I'll be back in like 1 moment. And there's no one behind you. Why do people keep asking me this? It's a window. For crying out loud. See? It's me. See the arm? See the arm behind me? It's me. Calm down. Just a sec. Okay, so for those of you who do want to do a little bit of tech work on the side, don't let me be too discouraging, because if you're doing it for the fun, then you can always do things for fun. All right, so I wanted to do a little thing called what to keep in your tech bag, and I thought I'd bring out my own backpack. Yes, that is a Windows Vista backpack, so just deal with it. I happen to like Windows Vista. I think it's good. I think Windows 7 is really not that different. All right, so number one, I have a tablet in my bag. Tablets are handy because if you need to be looking something up or doing something other than the computer you're working on, you can't rely on the computer you're working on in order to, give you instructions for something. I mean, even if you're working on a computer for someone, don't be afraid to just Google it and get help, because no one can remember absolutely everything. So a tablet is huge, because that way you can be referring to that while you're doing something else on the computer, even if it's rebooting or even if it has like serious problems and it's like super bogged down and slow. Okay, let's go into the other bag here. What else we got in here? Oh, okay, these are my shoes. Don't worry about that. That's not normally in there. I had my shoes in my bag because I was riding my bike to that social media conference, and so I had to wear my riding boots. Okay, I keep a camera in mine. That's not necessarily necessary for you. However, I mean, something kind of cool that I used to do when I was painting houses is that I always take a before and after picture. Never hurts to have a proper camera on you. Lots of folks, are big into, oh yeah, my phone's got like 8 megapixels and blah blah blah. But the reality of it is, image quality. Okay, image quality is about light. It's simple physics. The more surface area on the sensor and the bigger the optics, the better the image. It's not about megapixels, so you can take that to the bank. All right, putting aside my camera, what else we got in here? Okay, I always keep a couple spare components. In this case, I've got more than enough, but I'll always keep a stick or two of RAM, like a crappy video card, a crappy NIC. You should always have a crappy network card, because you never know when you're going to run into some stupid issue where you're trying to download like an antivirus and their NIC is dead and they don't have another computer. You can't download new drivers. Total disaster. You always want to make sure that you're connected, and that's one of the things that the tablet will help with as well. So a little bit of spare hardware. Maybe you don't keep it in your backpack, but keep it somewhere close by. Yes. If you guys watch my show, you'll know the iconic screwdriver. Always have a screwdriver. Always have this. In the end of my screwdriver, I keep 5 things. I know there are exactly 5. I have a slot head. Okay. I have a standard Robertson. This comes in handy all the time. Not for computers, mind you. I have a really skinny Phillips head, and it's not focusing on this, but whatever, you get the point. I have a really wide Phillips head, okay? So more torque for strip screws, stuff like that. And I keep a very strong needle. I keep a needle in here because needles are useful for all kinds of stuff. Whether it's, pulling pins out of a Molex connector, or whether it's just like poking at something to get some dust out of it, like maybe there's some gunk stuck in a connector, you got to get it out of there. Always keep a needle on you. Very, very important. And then, of course, my standard Phillips head, which is the one that I keep loaded at all times. And I get asked a lot, what screwdriver is this? This is a snap-on ratcheting screwdriver. It costs about $100. Available in a wide variety of colors. I didn't pay $100 for it. It was a gift. I would never pay $100 for a screwdriver because I'm totally cheap. But whatever. Needle nose pliers. If you don't have needle nose pliers in your tech bag, then you suck. Give up. Don't bother anymore. The same goes for, where are they? Yep, here we go. Okay, cutoffs. These are great for cutting off zip ties. You need to have these. You must have these. If you don't have these, you suck. Get them. They're cheap. You can get them at the dollar store. Okay, this is not related. This is my battery case for my iPhone that doesn't work anymore. Because, you know what? I'm putting that in as a topic later. I hate micro USB. Micro USB is the stupidest connector that ever existed. Micro USB. I hate it. I'm putting that in as a topic right now. We're going to talk about that later. Okay, what else we got in here? I always keep an extra SLI bridge because you never know. You might be working on a high-end computer. I have seen defective SLI bridges cause all kinds of weird crap. Adapters. If you don't keep adapters in your tech bag, you suck because you will never succeed if you don't have adapters. Where's my DVI to VGA adapter? Okay, apparently I suck because I don't think I have it right now. But normally I have a DVI to VGA adapter. I have a mini display port to DVI adapter. I have an HDMI to DVI adapter. If you want to get yourself the best kind of HDMI to DVI adapter, get the kind that has the analog pinouts even though they don't do anything, because otherwise DVI cables will not plug into it. So there's ones that don't have those analog pins holes even though they're not connected to anything, and you physically can't plug it in. Stupid. That's ridiculous. Right, always have a set of jeweler screwdrivers because you never know when those are going to come in handy to get in somewhere tight. I mean, even just a standard Phillips head one, just if you have to like kind of get in somewhere and screw something in, very, very, very handy. I keep a three-way SLI bridge, but not everyone's going to run into that all the time. I encounter that more often than most. Card reader. Always have a card reader. Always, always, always. I have an adapter here because you never know when one of these will come in handy. This is a single 3-pin to dual 3-pin adapter. It's great for plugging in more fans than you otherwise have. Another card reader. This one does compact flash as well. Those are both USB 3 card readers because I'm a baller. More SLI bridges. This is not necessary. But different lengths of SLI bridges might come in handy. This is yet another screwdriver. This one has Torx, though. If you do any water cooling, you might run into a need for Torx if you ever have to remove modern video cards. Some of them are using stupid Torx screws because manufacturers apparently don't want you removing the stock heat sinks. So yeah, you should have that. Allen keys. Always have Allen keys. You never know when an Allen key is going to come in handy. Aha! This is a good one. Molex to SATA power adapter. Keep these on you at all times because you never know when someone's going to give you a simple job, like install a hard drive for me. You show up at the job, you're like, yeah, cool, I'll install a hard drive for you, no big deal. And you're laughing to yourself because you're like, yeah, it's going to take like 5 minutes. And then they don't have any extra SATA connectors on their power supply, and you're like, no. Keep one of these on you. Very important. Actually, you should probably also have a dual Molex to PCIe adapter as well. That's one of the things I don't have in here. I always keep a couple of water cooling barbs on me because I never know when I'm going to be one short. I always keep, this is a couple different things. Here we go. Okay, I always have a bunch of SD cards on me, but I'm like a YouTuber, so that's more relevant for me than it is for you. And I always keep a variety of USBs on me. Okay, so these two have mostly the same crap. This is all my benchmarking utilities, all my diagnostic utilities. This one doesn't work in USB 3 ports anymore for some reason, so this is kind of my replacement for that one. I'm in transition right now, though. I'm in transition. And never trust a USB drive. Always make sure that you have it set to sync when you plug it into your master computer. This guy right here is cool because it has a variety of different Windows operating systems on it. Just pull them off the disk. I did a guide on this on the NCIX Tech Tips channel. So I keep them in folders. You just pull everything out into the folder, put it into the root. You install off USB. It's really, really fast. So if you ever have to reformat an OS, you're going to save yourself at least half an hour if you have a USB drive with all the relevant Windows OSs already in there. This is a specific tool. You need to get yourselves one of these. This is a motherboard standoff screwdriver. So it looks kind of like a jeweler screwdriver. Super, super handy. You want one of these. Okay. I have a badminton racket grip, but that might not be relevant to everyone. And I think that pretty much... Oh, yes, business cards. Make sure you always have business cards in your bag, because if you don't have business cards, then you suck, because no one will remember you. Unless you, like, show up in a clown hat. Oh, yes, and remember, the best kind of nerd food is fast nerd food. Always carry a fork. So there. That is my segment on what is in my bag. And my bag is extremely deep. This bag can hold anything. Oh, look, Rumble's visiting us. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, baby. Oh, there he goes. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi to everyone. You're not going to say hi? Can you yell at them? Can you show them how you yell? Hey. Meow. There you go, sweetheart. Meow. Can you show them how you talk? Come here. Rumble. Rumble. Meow. Meow. Can you talk for them? He's not going to talk for you. Well, he did it once. He did it once, so what a good boy. See? Say hi, everyone. Do you guys want to know what I think is the most beautiful thing about this cat? It's the imperfections that make them special. If you guys are watching in HD, you'll be able to see that in this eye, right here, he has what's kind of a weird spider web thing going on. It crosses his pupil. The vet says it's fine, and he's fine, and it doesn't hurt him, and it's... you know, you can remove it for aesthetics, but I think it makes him more beautiful because he's my little man, and maybe he'll visit with us for a little bit. All right, so why don't we do a little bit of Q&A for a bit? I know we're half an hour into the show, and Linus uses fake meow. It's not very effective. Excellent, love that. I bet you guys can hear him purring. He'll grab my arm. Here, show them how you grab my hand. There you go. See him grab my hand? So cute, my sweetheart. Okay, actually you can get down now. Where were we going with that? It's been 30 minutes. Yeah, it's been 30 minutes. I know, right? So let's do some Q&A. I haven't done any Q&A yet, so we're gonna head over to Twitter and see if we can chat things up a little bit here. Let's get this zoomed in a little bit so you guys can actually see what the hey we're talking about. No trusty video card in my bag. No, I don't have a video card in my bag, although normally I would. I don't do nearly as much tech work as I used to. All right, Slanted Pillow asks, I want to upgrade my RAM 8 or 16 gig. When is 16 gigs needed? There are very few people that need 16 gigs today. Gamers are not one set of those people. People who do 3D rendering, people who do video editing with After Effects, they need 16 gigs. So actually this RAM that's in my backpack here is to upgrade the rendering machine that Diesel has said that we really need more RAM in. So we're going to throw 32 gigs of RAM at the problem and see if that takes care of everything. Okay, moving right along. Linus, GTX 590 or 680 if a 590 is cheaper. I'm personally going for a 590, but the reason is that I already have a water block for it. If I was going to choose between the two and they were similar in price, I would go with the 680. It is much more power efficient and it kicks out a lot less heat into your room. So yeah, performance is going to be better on the 590. Bear that in mind, but heat is an issue, especially in the summer. Linus, your sound is worse. It is not. Everyone else says it's better. Who says that? Ethan, Salkick. I'm sorry, Ethan. But you're doing it wrong. Actually, I don't know. It could be to do with anything. I don't know. All right. Hi, Linus. I know you say any sound card is better than none. But is there any sub $100 value sound card you'd recommend? You know what? Actually, there is. Let's go ahead. Let's go to full screen here. And we're going to go ncix.com because that's the place I work. And we're going to search for Asus Zonar. This is how I shop for sound cards. I put in Asus Zonar, and then I find the price I want to go for it. I find the one that falls in that price and has a headphone amp, and then I buy it. So let's search for, yeah, there it is, the DGX. If you're going to use headphones, you want a DGX. If you're not going to use headphones, you want something like a D1. It doesn't matter. Any Asus Zonar is a good sound card, so don't worry too much about it. Jaris, what is your opinion of braided cables sold by manufacturers for their modular power supplies? Are they worth it? Absolutely not. They're not worth it at all. They're worth it only if you want the aesthetic of the aftermarket cables. I mean, that's pretty much it. This is a purely aesthetic thing. There is no performance benefit to it whatsoever. If anything, I think you're talking about those individually sleeved cables. If anything, individually sleeved cables are less effective for your airflow than a massively just single sleeved bunch, because it actually splits it up and makes the cables more bulky. So I personally like the look. I'm double sleeving my cables, so I'm not doing every individual wire, but I'm doing every two with one sleeve. And to me, it has a value, but not to everyone. Donald, oh man, Donald. My PSU popped. What are the chances my other components got overloaded? You know what? These days, less likely. Especially guys like Gigabyte build a lot of failsafes into their motherboards to keep surges from spreading too far. But it could have happened. The only way to know for sure, plug in a new power supply and find out what happens. If the magic blue smoke gets released from your hardware, then you'll know. Tim, which is better for radiators if you only have room for one set of fans, push or pull? For performance, it actually doesn't make a difference. For performance, it's pretty much identical. It's been tested time and time again. However, I always use pull if I can. And the reason for that is if you have a radiator here and you have fans pushing this way, the dust accumulates under the blades of the fan on the radiator fins. It's very hard to clean, especially if you get any buildup. If you're pulling air through the radiator, dust accumulates on the fins here still, but you can easily just kind of grab it and take a dust bunny and throw it away, or you can just blow on it and it'll all come free. So that's the reason why I use pull. That tech guy, I am only answering questions on Twitter right now. However, I do keep an eye on the Twitch chat, so every once in a while I do stuff. Linus, I tweeted at you in like the pre-show. Does that mean you'll never read it ever? Honestly, probably not. I can only do so many questions. I mean, you guys tweet a lot of stuff at me, and I'm not going to talk too much about how much stuff you guys tweet at me because that will waste the time that I can spend answering questions. Slick? No way. Slick's tweeting at me. That's the real Slick, by the way. If you guys aren't following at SlickPC on Twitter, just stop. Stop watching right now. Go follow SlickPC on Twitter because he's going to be tweeting all kinds of cool stuff. He's got some really neat pictures of a modded Cosmos 2 that his brother's working on. Very cool stuff. So I don't know, that's just a response to someone else. So that's, all right. Mr. DJ here. Is the 7970 gigahertz edition better than the 680? No. Neither of them are really better than the other, especially once you overclock both of them to the max. They're very, very close to each other, 7970 and GTX 680. If you want 3D vision. If you want PhysX, go with the NVIDIA card. If you don't, if you want the better multi-monitor experience, go with the 7970. Figure out, I mean, what's your plan in the future? What are you going to do? If you want multi-monitor, go Radeon. If you don't, then don't. All right. Josh. Josh, hey, what is the best HDMI, and what do you think? I think the best HDMI is the HDMI that is like. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know how to answer that question. HDMI. HDMI is good. Actually, I don't really like HDMI. I'm a big fan of DVI because it carries more bandwidth than HDMI. Although HDMI 1.4, whatever, I think it's 1.4 compliant devices with the faster processing chip are finally caught up to DVI. I mean, DisplayPort is the way of the future. HDMI is honestly holding back things like 4K. I mean, 4K is supported at 24 FPS, which just sucks. It's holding back things like 3D because 3D is all like a ghetto sort of compressed thing with HDMI. It's not truly fast enough for really anything these days. Although I did discover some really cool HDMI cables recently. Check this out. Check this out. So, you know what? We're just going to make this big here. So I was on Monoprice. If you guys don't know Monoprice is kind of amazing because they have everything. and it's this stuff. So I need some, no, this stuff. It's called Redmir. So I need some long HDMI cables that are thin, and Redmir allows you to have a 28 AWG wire and up to a 60-foot cable for like 75 bucks, which is absolutely outstanding. I'm super impressed with that whole idea, and so I'll be using that for my camera as I have someone floating around with the camera taking B-roll footage during an unboxing. I'm going to have that long wire running without the weight on the HDMI connection that would cause it to break. So I think that's really cool. That seems like kind of a newerish thing. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Matthew says mini USB are slow and crappy. Yes, they are. I hate them. Actually, they're not slow. They're just USB, but they're crappy. I hate them. They break. They suck. All right, I accidentally clicked the thing. I don't want to do that. I want to just scroll down. Scroll down. Amir, what has micro USB ever done to you? It breaks and it sucks. It's not as good as mini B, and it's not much smaller. Hey, I'm saving this rant for later. You guys are killing me here. Adrian says, is SSD of different brands really differs a lot in terms of durability? I just bought a HyperX 3K. Is it durable compared to Intel? The answer would be probably not. Intel doesn't really spec out what PE cycle chips they're using for their drives. I know on the 520s they're using 5K PE, which basically means that drive will inherently last about 66% longer than the drive you just bought, and a regular HyperX drive, not the 3K, will actually last longer as well. However, even with a 3K PE cycle, with the intelligence of the wear leveling algorithms in modern SSDs, you really don't have to worry about it that much. I mean, it's by the time your SSD dies due to the flash degrading, 120 gigs will be absolutely laughable. It'll be stupid. It'll be like sort of 5 years from now, or like it'll be like 5 years ago being concerned about like your 250 gig hard drive. I mean, now you can buy a 500 gig hard drive for, I mean, okay, less so now because of that flood, but for a while there, you could buy hard drives for like 40 bucks. So yeah, you're investing a lot in your SSD now, but by the time it ever matters, it'll be totally worthless. Oh, Test Tester says, what was that camera? Test Tester should follow me with a real Twitter account, and then maybe I'll answer his question. Actually, no, I'm just messing with you. It's an SX1IS. This is the camera that I've been using for years for my video blog. My original one was actually awesome and didn't have a big fat scratch on the lens. And when that one died because I spilled chicken soup on it, I had to replace it. And the SX1IS was gone, and Canon didn't have a direct replacement that was able to take great 1080p video. So I bought a used one that came with a scratch on the lens. Hence all the complaints that I get from you guys about the autofocus. There's nothing I can do until my new camera arrives. So I'm sorry. And yes, some of you hate Twitter, and then I can't answer questions for you. I'm sorry, Devil Z. I know, I love you and everything, and I do want to talk to you, but you're gonna need Twitter. So yeah, SX1IS, new camera coming, so don't worry about it. We're gonna get this taken care of. All right. I painted houses. Yes, I did paint houses. I painted houses for 2 summers with Student Works Painting. All right, moving right along, moving right along, moving right along. Oh, who wants a shout out? Jerry Guan wants a shout out. Hi, Jerry. Oh my goodness, it's Jerry. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of Seinfeld. Jerry Guan? Huh. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, shout out to Jerry Guan. Okay. Linus, is NCIX ever going international? Funny you should ask, because NCIX is already in the US, which is sort of international to Canada. As for what's going on with any kind of future expansion, honestly, I'm like the YouTube guy. I'm a product manager. I'm a category manager, so I'm not exactly like, like peon level here. Like I used to be a retail sales guy, but I still can't comment on that kind of stuff. When's the next personal rig update? Honestly, here's the problem. Right now, I'm working on Dremeling. I get home at around the baby's bedtime every day, which means that if I turn on a Dremel at 35,000 RPM in my garage, my wife will kill me. She will absolutely destroy me. So this weekend, I'm hoping to find some time while he's awake to Dremel out the CPU cutout, and then I'll be able to actually post an update. So I'm super excited about that. Gabriel says, does NCIX ship custom computers to the US? The answer is yes, but not really. You have to jump through some hoops. Email pc That is pc@ncix.com, and the Crazy Russian or Brian, the gamer, will take care of you, and they will get that sorted out for you. Okay? They will make sure that you can buy a PC. All right. Juan Solo. That's awesome. That is just awesome. Juan Solo. Oh man. Do you think college university is necessary for a job in IT? I would say it's not necessary. I'd say it's highly recommended. I do not have a university or a college degree. I'm doing all right, but I have busted my tail. It's not as easy. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I never tried the other way. So it depends what you want to do. I mean, you want to be a programmer? You should probably get some education unless you're really good at being self-educated. If you want to be like a technician or whatever else, no, totally not necessary, but it really depends what you're talking about. I mean, do you want to be a motherboard engineer? Then, like, yeah, then you're going to need school. So it's a very vague question. I'm sorry, Juan. I saw your name and I was like, oh my goodness, he's going to ask me about smuggling. Or like, he's going to tell me about smuggling. And I was going to be like amazed. I was going to talk about like the Kessel Run. And now I'm disappointed. All right, let's see if we got any more questions. Michael wants to know, what sort of music are you into? You know what? Just for lulz, let's have a look at what's in my music library. All right, so I'm gonna pull this over here. We are totally gonna just go to my music folder. We are not even gonna censor any of this stuff. So let's go. I actually sort my music according to folders still. I am actually that demented. So let's go with medium icons so you guys can actually see what we're dealing with here. So we've got some we've got some terrible 90s like trance stuff. We've got some ABBA. All right. We've got Adam Gregory, who was like a one-hit wonder. Got some Ace of Base. What other terrible stuff do we have in here? Alanis Morissette. Alanis Morissette is a Canadian hero. Yes, I have one Justin Bieber song in here. What else we got? We got some Bare Naked Ladies. Bare Naked Ladies is good stuff. Canadians all. I got some Backstreet Boys in here. So my music collection is probably one of the most eclectic music collections you will ever encounter. I listen to almost everything. Got some Chumbawamba, some little bit of Coldplay, some Carrie Underwood. See, I'm gonna make you guys suffer. There you go.
Believe they still do.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all done now. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do this to you anymore. So basically, you made the mistake of asking me what kind of music I listen to, and I made you suffer. So I think what you discovered is that you no longer want to know. Haha. Okay. And no, don't unsub because of my music taste. Come on, guys. Come on. And sorry, I didn't know that was really loud. I'm really sorry. I haven't tested that feature before. However, I want you guys to oh no, I want you guys to note this. Okay, so we're gonna search for some kind of Linus video on YouTube. Hold on, I'm gonna switch my view here. So we're gonna search for like Linus, I don't know, something tech. There, that's a good keyword. That should bring up something. All right, let's go with this video, the one where I like Hulk lift this case. So check this out.
Have you ever had deja?
And I want you guys to tell me if the sound level's okay.
Vu?
The headphone jack is going.
Is it working? Do you have sound?
Good stuff. So the Scout is more along the with a rubber coating on the outside. It's actually great. So you can easily carry your system around like this, especially if you're stronger than me. It's not quite like the handles on the Cosmos 2, which have those beautiful metal bars running down both sides of the top of it. But I mean, this is a more valuable, and it has a rubberized grip on it.
Impressed by this.
That makes it much.
This is less
handle is a really handy thing to have for your case because if you're unboxing it, you might find
there we go. Had the case actually been full of a system, I would not at all have been able to do that. So it's only because the case is pretty light and it was empty that I was able to do anything like that. So here, let's bring me back. No, I do not lift weights. The only exercise that I have done in the last sort of 2 to 3 years is playing badminton. So what you guys will notice is that Here, I'll see if I can show this to you. My right arm, right here, is significantly wider, especially here in the forearm. See, I'll flex them both, than my left arm. And that's not for the reason you think it is. That's because of badminton. And actually now I'm swimming. So I've been, if you guys are subscribed to my Twitter or following me on Twitter, I always forget the terminology. If you're following me on Twitter, then you know that I've been swimming in the mornings about 3 times a week, and I'm trying to get some endurance back, some cardio. So it's tough. I mean, it's hard when you have a desk job because it's so easy to be totally sedentary and not do anything. But yeah, it's important. It's really important. Pascal says, I worked at Future Shop as a sales rep. Awful job. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I actually applied. Oh, wow. Funny story. Okay, we're going to go off on a tangent here. Future Shop. So I applied to Future Shop when I was about, I don't know, 16. This is before I was working at NCIX, before I'd ever really had a real job. And they had an online job interview, like an online application that you fill out. And it's got those questions. It's got questions like, if you saw a fellow employee shoplifting something trivial, like something small, like $5 or something, and they were a close friend of yours, would you, A, say nothing, B, talk to them quietly and ask them to put it back, or C, report it to a supervisor? And I answered honestly. I would do B. I wouldn't take it straight to the supervisor. I'd talk to them first and be like, hey man, that's not cool. And so what I did is I answered the survey honestly, as opposed to filling in the obvious answer that they wanted to hear. And without even taking long enough for anyone to review my application, it rejected it. And so what I realized, and it was totally unrealistic stuff, like you'd have to be some kind of like unbelievable, like straight arrow to actually answer all these questions the way they wanted to hear it. And so what I realized is that Future Shop's hiring policy at that time prevented anyone honest from actually working there. Like if you were honest, filling out the survey, then they wouldn't hire you. Period. You had to be like willing to lie at the right time. So yeah, I never reapplied. Not only did it reject my application, but they told me I couldn't reapply for like 3 or 6 months or something like that. I was like, 6 months? I'm 16, man. That's gonna be forever from now. So I never ended up going there. I mean, hey, who knows? Things could have been totally different. What if this was Future Shop Tech Tips? I mean, we were like this close to this being Future Shop Tech Tips, and it would be about like monster cables. No, I would never do that. Don't worry, guys. I know better than that. Okay, Lewis asks me, if you were to choose another job in the tech industry, what would it be? You know what? I've actually thought about this because I like my job. I love my job, but it's super stressful. I work super hard. I work long hours. If I was going to choose another job, I would be a technician again. I would assemble PCs again because I actually still enjoy it, and it's just not stressful. And yeah, no, that's probably what I would do. I mean, other than that, I think I have the best job in the world. I get to be a product manager. I get to boss around the Russian all day, and I get to make videos for you guys, which is great. It's fun. So let's go ahead and move down. Pascal says, yes, I am tech in small comp shop, and yes, he's hard. I'm just assuming that, oh no, he's probably French, okay. Let's see if I can pull out a French accent. Yeah, I probably can't do it. Forget it. I'm not going to try. Joshua says, what do you think about opera? I can't really sing it, but I mean, I guess if it was playing, like and I was in a casino or something, and it was just kind of playing, like I wouldn't leave because of it. And I know that you mean the browser. I believe it or not, I have Opera on my computer. I very rarely use it. The only reason I have 5 browsers is so that I can keep track of sort of 5 different sets of logins that are in all of them. So it's just very convenient that way. Okay, moving right along then. Linus, please answer. How does overclocking affect product lifetime? I would postulate that unless you're going really extreme and you're like trying to break stuff. So if you're staying reasonable, you're staying within sort of the community's generally accepted guidelines for how much voltage you should push through, how much heat you should be outputting, how high you should go. Probably not enough that it matters. However, I have had a CPU die outright, an overclocked CPU. I have had CPUs degrade on me to the point where they wouldn't overclock as high as they used to, but it's never really been relevant for me. I mean, I've always been changing my hardware before it ever mattered. So I just sell it, and then I just say, yeah, it overclocks to this much, and your mileage may vary, and then I don't worry too much about it. So put Twitter up, please. Oh, sorry, guys. I totally forgot about that. There you go. How can I wear the 7H? I have one. It's literally put a dent in my head. It's so heavy. Ah, no way, Shane. I love the 7H. 7H is awesome. It's lighter than the Vulcan. It sounds better than anything else out there, like by a long shot. Nope, nope. I love the 7H. 7H headset. Buy one today. Product placement for Steel. Actually, no. They did give me this headset. I did not pay for this headset, but I do love it. It's my favorite. I got rid of my HD 555 from Sennheiser that I did pay for in exchange for these. I had to pull these off of my personal rig upstairs in order to wear them for this live stream. Okay. Yeah, see this kind of stuff. Mike, you got it bang on here. The speed that life changes over 9,000. Come to think of it, I'm watching a person over 1,000 miles away talk at me live, and I'm going to add to that from his kitchen with technology that would have cost tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars 10 years ago, 20 years ago. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's catch up with some of the new... Oh my goodness, 395 new interactions. Okay, you know what? We're not going to touch Twitter for a little bit. I love that you guys are adding me on Twitter and that you're tweeting at me, and this is all really good stuff, but I can only do so much. So we're going to move on to our next topic of the night, which is used hard drives. I thought this was a really, really good question from whoever, I forget. But he tweeted at me, and this was earlier. If you tweet at me not during a live stream, the odds of getting through to me are actually a lot better. Chat room shoutouts says, Ghost the Capitalist. Ghost the Capitalist! Shout out to you. Yay! Yay! Right, so used hard drives. Used hard drives are an interesting one. So there's a couple things. Number one is that hard drives generally fail within the first 30 days or after the first couple years. That's pretty much how it goes. So if they're going to die, they'll die right away, or they'll wait a good while, and then they'll start to drop off gradually. So used hard drives. Generally speaking, if I was going to buy a used hard drive, I'd look at a couple of different things. I'd look at who am I buying this from? How much have they been using it? Has this been sitting in a NAS and has barely been used? It hasn't been moved around. It hasn't been jostled. It hasn't been bumped. So how old is it? How old is it? You can always know the manufacturing date of a hard drive just by looking at the sticker on the top of it. They all say. Number three, is it still under warranty? Because if you're buying a used hard drive, that's not still under warranty, that means it's at least a year old. Okay, what have they been using it for? Why are they getting rid of it? He said that his work or his boss or something like that buys a lot of used hard drives and doesn't really worry about it. And my approach there is I've used lots of used hard drives and refurb hard drives in my Windows Home Server v1. If you're doing regular, and I mean regular, frequent, very frequent backups, then I actually don't inherently have a problem with using something like a used hard drive. It's got to be shipped carefully. That's another huge factor with hard drives. You don't ship a hard drive carefully, dead hard drive. But yeah, if it's been shipped carefully, or you're picking it up, if it hasn't been used that heavily, if it still has warranty, I think it's probably fine. I wouldn't buy a used hard drive as readily as I would buy something like a used CPU. Or any passive component, so a motherboard with no active cooling, where you know that there's not much to wear out other than the PWM. I would shy away from things like used power supplies. Video cards are a tough one because if they've overvolted the heck out of it and if the fan's worn out, yeah, it can go. But some guys like EVGA, this is one of their big advantages. I know I talk a lot about the big three, but EVGA is a big deal for video cards. So they have a global warranty that is tied to the serial number, not to the owner. So that's a really good one. If you're going to buy a video card, yeah, make sure is the warranty transferable. So some guys, like hard drives, they don't care who bought it. They're not going to ask you for an invoice. Whereas some things, like most video cards, like motherboards, sometimes are going to actually ask you to produce an original invoice. And if you can't, it's not going to be under warranty. So that's something to consider anytime you're buying something used. All right. So let's talk about why I hate micro USB and why it's the worst connection that ever existed. This connection is better than micro USB because it doesn't break. So what's the key difference between my iPhone 4 and my wife's Samsung Galaxy S? This is the version 1, the Vibrant. My connector still works every time when I want to charge my phone or back it up or pull data off of it. Hers does not, because micro USB is a big fat piece of crap. Because if you, at any point, let's see if I have a micro USB cable here. It's so stupid, I hate it. If at any point you accidentally, wiggle a micro USB cable, the pins are so small and they're so close together that it is incredibly easy for them to break off the piece in the middle of the actual female end that makes contact with the pins, or bend it so it won't make contact anymore. It is so easy to break it off. It is so easy to, it's just fragile. And the thing that kills me most about it is that compared to Mini B, remember Mini B, the one that used to be on every camera ever, and it's kind of still on every camera, but used to be for just everything, see? Mini B? How much bigger than micro USB is that? Like, how much bigger is it? This is 100 times better. This is 100 times more robust. I mean, I hate mini HDMI too. I especially hate micro HDMI. But no, actually, I think mini HDMI is the worst. I hate fragile connectors. So I don't have anything against. Micro USB in particular, but I hate fragile connectors. In fact, I hate HDMI too. Compared to DVI, compared to DisplayPort, these are locking connectors. Every connector should lock. Every connector should be durable. I really just. I mean, come on. My grandpa has a BlackBerry Playbook that he bought a while ago, and you can make all the jokes you want about how it was useless the day he got it, but it's useless now because he can no longer charge it, and it's like just over a year old. Just stupid. Just horrible. Mini B is not fragile, Ghost the Capitalist. Well, it's fragile, but it's not nearly as fragile as Micro. Keen Pro asks, what phone do I have? I'm going to let the rest of you in the chat answer that for him, because I think most of you probably know. Let's go and do some more Twitter questions. There we go. Okay, 400 and something new updates. Oh yeah. Okay. Peter, great question. Peter, why do you like the TJ07 more than the TJ11? Couple reasons, Peter. Number one, the TJ11 is really big. It's really big. It's heavier than the TJ07, although it's really light for such a big case because of its all aluminum construction. Number two is it'll look kind of empty. I'm not planning to use an XL-ATX motherboard, so it'll just have like that emptiness factor. I don't like that. I prefer to have a build that's all goes together. I want an ATX board, I want an ATX case, I want an ATX power supply. I mean, to me, it's like using an SFX power supply and putting it in like a mid-tower case and using like an adapter. It's just going to look stupid. I saw one guy installed an ITX board in his Corsair 800D. I mean, that's an extreme example, but it's like the most ridiculous thing ever. I like the plainness of the TJ07. The TJ11, I originally hated it when I first saw the pictures because I thought the front was plastic. I thought it was like plastic and cheap. The whole thing is metal. It's a beautiful case. It is amazingly well constructed. But I like the plainness. I like the flat front on the TJ07. I like the flat top. I like the plainness. I like the sleekness. Also, my TJ07 is a gift from my wife. My wife bought it for me. It was one of the first major purchases that she made for me for my birthday. And it was also one of the first things I bought when I first started at NCIX. So it was a long time ago now. So I'm pretty attached to the TJ07. My TJ07 is baller because it's one of the old ones. New TJ07s, the unibody curve that's so smooth on mine is actually a little bit sort of, well, I mean, what would we call it? We'd call it like, it's not quite a perfectly smooth curve. It's got some sort of lines to it. And the reason is that the new manufacturing process, they take the sheet, they score it a couple times, and then they bend it. Whereas they used to just bend the solid sheet of aluminum. So I have like the older baller TJ07, and I feel exclusive about it. So that's another reason. How much can I bench press? Not a whole lot, let me tell you that, because my left arm is weak as crap. I can only do I think I can do about 35 push-ups in one go, and I only weigh like 140 pounds, so that should give you some idea. I really can't do it. Obsidian Matthew, Linus, are you thinking of getting the iPhone 5? Believe it or not, I'm not really a phone guy. I actually had a flip phone until work issued me a BlackBerry, and it was one of those BlackBerries with like, the wheel on the side and like the screen and like the keyboard under it. It was like an 8300 or something like that, and I used that until work issued me an iPhone 4. I don't buy phones. I'm not a phone guy. I think that any computer that's smaller than the torso of a grown man is probably not that great. Although phones are getting better, phones are getting cool and all of that, but I know I have to get into phones more. I mean, I like learning about new operating systems like Android and iOS. It's been eye-opening. I use my phone more than I ever thought I would, but I'm still not super, like, I'm not like foaming at the mouth waiting for oh my goodness, it's the next iPhone, bah, or it's the next Android phone. I'm not that. I'm far more excited about a new flagship video card, for example. Okay, let's move right along. Sue Dion says, how many satellites are currently in orbit? Sue Dion, I'm going to show you a really cool site, and I know you're just trolling me. I totally know you're just trolling me. But it's called, let me Google that for you, and I would use it, but I think you get the point. Sue. Rumble Muffin says, there are rumors going around that ASUS is making offers to buy ASRock. How do you think this will impact the motherboard market? I don't know if you know this, but ASRock originally split off from ASUS. I believe they're still both owned by Pegatron, but I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but those companies they're separate, but they're they're separate. They're here, but they're like there's connections between those companies, so I wouldn't overthink it too much. Gabriel says, Linus, I posted a rig a while ago. Can you look at it and give me the Linus seal of approval? You know what, Gabriel? I am pretty busy. I have a hard time looking at every system that people send to me, especially because at least 75% of the people that I advise about their systems end up arguing with me about why they chose what they chose or didn't choose what they choose. You know what? I don't care, because I looked at your system. I told you how you're going to get 20% more performance for 5% more money or whatever else, and I just don't have time to debate it. But what you can do is you can email pc@ncix.com, and the Russian or Brian will totally look at that for you, and they are as good at configuring PCs as me, if not better. So don't worry too much about that. They will get you taken care of, like, no problem. Jacob, yes, at some point I will do the Hackintosh. I am still waiting for ASUS to send me a P8 Z77-I or whatever their Z77 ITX board is. I don't have one yet. As soon as I have it, I will get to work on that, I promise. Domagyoj Leskarak says, Linus! Okay! Reflex says, you know ASL? I do. My mother's hard of hearing. She's a teacher of the deaf. I had a deaf foster brother growing up, so I'm really rusty. I used to be pretty conversant, whereas these days it's pretty tough for me. I mean, it's kind of like French, where I used to be able to communicate in French, but now, I mean, yeah, it's pretty tough. I'm kind of an English speaking only guy these days. I mean, I can still finger spell. You know, I know my name sign, just like hockey with an L, it's sort of cheeseball, but that's pretty much all I got at this point. Nicholas Cloutier says, Linus, you started as a salesman. How did you end up in the head office instead of store management? Well, actually, it's a funny story, because I went and talked to the president of the company because I had a really awkward conversation that I had to have with him, because I just started at NCIX and I was like, I have this contract where I have to paint houses this summer. Can you give me the summer off? Can you hold a job here for me while I do this? And I think that that's part of what made him that's part of what got me his attention, was that I came in to talk to him about this. I think he looked at my numbers, and what he liked about what I was selling was I was always selling systems. I was selling more systems than any other sales guy in the company, and I was working like 3 days a week. And I was always selling these high-end systems because I'm really passionate about it. And so he said to me, look, not only am I going to hold you a job here, but I am going to have you come and work at head office when you come back. And so I started out configuring the PCs on the website, and from there I moved into product management with water cooling, and then from there I moved into more important product management, and now I'm a category manager. And then I started doing videos somewhere along the line, and that's pretty much how it went. So there was a lot of luck involved. I mean, it wasn't like I found like a magical sort of toothpick, and then I fought the mighty pint-sized dragon, and I slayed him, and I stabbed him in the foot, and it turned out that that was where his heart was. And I was like, oh, I conquered the beast. And then I put him in this jar, and like it wasn't anything like that. It was there was some luck involved. I think with success, there's always a little bit of luck involved. LD Form says, wish me good night. Your stream keeps me up. It's 1 a.m. I am not going to wish you good night because you should stick around and watch the rest of the stream. It's only 25 more minutes. And it's fun, right? Are we having fun? Is this a good stream? You guys enjoying it? You guys cool? All right, good. And no, there's no cookies in it. It's actually, oh, that's disgusting. It's really, oh, look at this. It's really old. I had no idea. I thought it was flour. It's old ketchup packets from McDonald's and like old sweet and sour packets. See, look at that. That one has some sauce on the top right there. Dare me to lick it? Should I lick it? Come on. I'm going to see what you guys say. Should I lick it? Oh, disgusting. Okay. Oh, I can still taste it. Oh, awful. And I've got spit all over my chin because I pressed it so hard against my tongue that it mashed my tongue on my chin. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Don't do that. Okay. Moving right along. Mark wants to know, will we be doing multicam in the future? Yes, we will. Linus, I have a copy of Windows 8 from university. I'm on the fence about upgrading. I'm planning to upgrade. I think that the only way to move is forward, so I'm going to try it, and I'm going to make myself like it because it's not going away. Linus, are you going to upgrade your 9268i in your rig to the new successor? I am not planning to do that. Adaptec has a really cool new card coming that I'm pretty excited about. And my 9260 is honestly fast enough for me. It's good enough for about 2 gigabytes per second reads, which is, I mean, I've only got SATA 2 SSDs on there now. I could still get more performance out of that card just by upgrading the SSDs instead. So I'm gonna stick with that card for now. I really like it. It's reliable. I've got like a special custom heatsink I made for the battery so that it doesn't overheat. So everything's just kind of working the way I like it. Joe wants to know if it's possible to liquid cool and overclock an SSD. Let me tell you, Joe, that is the most fantastic Twitter profile picture that I think I have ever seen. Look at this. Look at this burger. Look at this guy. I mean, the burger's so big, it makes this huge black guy look small. That is fantastic. Joe, is that you? Tell me, Joe, if that is you. I need to know. You have to tweet me later or something because that is just fantastic. That burger's amazing. So back to Twitter. I guess we're up at the top now. Or maybe we're not. I don't know what's going on. Let's go back to connect. There we go. Let's get connected with each other, yo. Not like in a weird way. Just in like a good way. Mike, Canadians go to McDonald's. Also, Linus, did you hear about New York City banning the sale of big gulp-sized drinks? You know what? This isn't something I was planning to talk about tonight, but huge soft drinks are going to kill you. I know that I don't have a channel called Linus Health Tips, and I'm not necessarily the most healthy guy in the world, but we were at the nurse's place. We were getting immunizations for the baby, and I was sort of marveling at, I mean, I'm a huge iced tea guy. I love iced tea. It's just the best thing ever. And if you guys don't live in Canada, if you live in the US, what you don't know is that oh, come on, Linus, racist. I said he's a black guy. I'm a white guy. It's not racist. Jeez. And I didn't say he was fat. I said he was big. He is big. Anyway, so we were at the nurse's office to get some immunizations for the baby, and they had a chart on the wall showing like how much sugar is in crap. And it reminded me of this time that I was down in the U.S. and I ordered iced tea. I'd never really gone to the States, and I'd never really gone to a restaurant there before. And I ordered an iced tea at Red Robin. I took one sip of it, and I just about spit it all over the table because I realized it wasn't sweetened. And what I realized about okay, first of all, the sugar. Sugar will kill you because it turns into fat. Okay, so there's that. And then second of all is I remember how much sugar I ended up putting from the table. They had like sugar packets. I remember how much sugar I ended up putting into the iced tea to make it even remotely palatable, and being absolutely disgusted at how much sugar I was putting in this drink, because you don't think about it when it's mixed into something, but pop, iced tea, that stuff will kill you. The best thing to drink? Right there. Water. So I almost drink only water. The times I drink iced tea, I drink iced tea when I go to a restaurant. I treat myself, but I try not to keep it in the house because that stuff will kill me, and I try to realize that. Performance Studios. What editor do you use to edit your videos? I personally use Sony Vegas Movie Studio because I'm cheap and I don't know how to use anything else. What's his name? Diesel brought his copy of CS6 that he's been using to help us, and yeah, it's pretty cool based on what he's been doing lately. I mean, I don't know. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go on a YouTube adventure here, guys, and I'm gonna show you the latest edition of NetLinked Weekly, which is actually amazing. And I'm like super happy with it. I didn't ask him to do this at all, but he just did a fantastic job of the editing on this one. So we had a Street Fighter showdown between me and Tom the artist, and he added like the coolest effect that I totally. I mean, I told him be creative about this stuff, have fun, but I didn't think he'd be this creative, and I didn't think he'd have this much fun. I was super impressed with this. So I'm gonna turn on the sound. I'm gonna stop talking for a minute here.
It's pretty even for me and Tom. And here we go. So I don't even know what button kicks here.
You guys like that?
Okay.
You guys like those heads and health bars down there?
Does that even work? Oh no, I did damage. Okay, don't do that. He knows combos and stuff. That's not fair.
I don't know combos. I just know how to do a Dukin. No one at the office knows.
If I just kick
So
lots,
long story.
that
Oh,
should
hold
work,
on. I'm
right?
gonna figure out how to turn the audio off here. Yeah. Long story short, I kicked Tom's butt in spite of the fact that that was his copy of Street Fighter 4. I've played Street Fighter 4 a grand total of about like 1 hour before in my life when I sat down and kind of played it for a bit. I have never once played a game on a PlayStation 3 before that. I'm totally not a console guy, but I did myself proud. I did myself proud in that Street Fighter match there. So I don't remember how we got on this topic, but let's go ahead and move right along here. Okay, moving on down. What's your favorite case? TJ07. Dan says, I have to wake up at 7 a.m. tomorrow for school. That sucks, Dan. I remember school. Getting up early sucks, but like stay in school. It's important and stuff. Okay. Let's see. Let's view this conversation. I don't know where this came from. Oh, I think so. I think I'm getting burned for not thinking that girl gamers exist. I found this evidently girl gamer. Oh no. Oh, that is the one. She did reply to my tweet. Here. Oh yeah. Okay. So we are. Oh, I just saw this tweet during my live stream. My audience says hi. You guys say hi, right? You guys say hi to the girl gamer who did an unboxing of a video card? I was like, woo, amateur unboxings, very cool. Oh, someone apparently knows who this is. I've never heard of her before, but people don't say hi. Well, you know what? Too bad. I'm saying hi on behalf of you guys because I'll just force you to be somewhat polite. How do I turn this off? Close this. Go away. And go away. No. Okay, you know what? Let's just scroll down. There we go. Alright, how long till a replacement for DDR3? Actually, they've just finalized the DDR4 spec. However, I don't think it matters that much. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the upgrade in performance going from DDR2 to DDR3 was very minuscule. As soon as we moved to an integrated memory controller on most of the modern, every modern CPU on the desktop from AMD and Intel, it stopped really mattering that much what the speed of the memory is because the latency goes up as we increase the frequency. And we just don't need more bandwidth on the desktop. I mean, if you guys need any evidence of this, go and look at some of the write-ups that have been done about LGA 2011, where they take, they actually run for 1, 2, 3, and 4 channels of memory on the platform because it's fully capable of running in dual channel. And what's discovered a lot of the time is that dual channel is just as good as quad channel in some cases where latency is more important, and quad channel is better where you need more bandwidth, but these are very small margins of victory on both sides. The only time you really run into trouble is when you're running single channel. So yeah, there you go. I mean, it's coming, but I don't know how relevant it is. Peter wants to know, what is the story behind Cameraman's Apple prowess? Also, it seems Slick and Diesel don't mind being on camera anymore. So Cameraman is an Apple guy. Cameraman is the one who convinced me to get an iPhone 4. Cameraman edits all his videos on a Mac back in the day when we were doing like old school tech tips. You know what? Let's pull up some old school tech tips for you guys. So here we're gonna go to Let's change our view here. Let's do this. Let's go to youtube.com/ncixcom. Okay, I'm gonna pull out some classic stuff here, guys. You're gonna love this, or you're gonna hate it. You know what? Get over it. So oldest to newest. Here we go. Okay, so first of all, there's that NCIX commercial that I had nothing to do with. Where's that one? There's a particular one I'm looking for here, guys. Cameraman did all these like awesome like cheeseball effects. This is right around the time we got our new studio. Okay, so you guys are gonna watch this with me. You guys are gonna watch this with me. Hold on, I'm gonna switch this to full screen. I'm gonna put that on. Oh yeah, 720p, like it's I don't know, whatever year that was, long time ago.
Hi, welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. Today we'll be covering a very special new platform launch from AMD. So it's called the Dragon platform, and it features the Phenom 2 processor.
See that bottom
we've got
third?
a demo
Very
system
nice.
here, and we're going to put on our investigation caps to open it up and see what's inside. And whoa, okay, hold on. Let me get this close.
See, how fun is that? Cameraman did all of that on a Mac, so Apple can't be all bad, right? Am I right? I'm not right, but you know, Cameraman would have us believe that I'm right. So let's go ahead and keep moving down here. Scrolling down, looking at some questions. John wants to know, how hard do you think it is to run a business solely on custom systems? How would I do it? John, it's probably not doable. There's 2 guys in the US doing it right now, iBuyPower and CyberPower. They are both, basically it's saturated. There's no room for really anyone else to make a real living, to have like a significant company. I mean, okay, there's smaller guys like Falcon or you know, whatever those guys, but this is a very niche market, and the reason that people buy from them is they're a long-time trusted brand. They've been around forever. As a new startup, it would be, I'm going to say, impossible. It's not a business that I would start. Ryan says, I may be a little off topic here. Absolutely not, Ryan. Questions about power supplies are 100%. People who say more than 100% tick me off, because there's no such thing, unless we're talking about growth. So Linus, I may be a little off topic here, but my Corsair TX 750 V2 died on me, and I'm going to buy a Seasonic Platinum X60. What do you think? I think that's a fantastic idea. Seasonic power supplies are the shizzle. David says, did that guy from last week who you offered to build his PC for $1,000 ever respond? He did respond. He seemed like he was going to do it, but I talked him out of it because it makes no sense to give someone $1,000 to assemble a PC for you. All right, moving right along. Would you say a sound card is necessary for games like BF3? A sound card is necessary for life. You should have a sound card because it makes everything sound better. Oh, this is the saddest thing that I've seen today. KPK TDS says, Linus, you are loved by thousands. Thank you. I'm completely alone. What do you recommend me? First of all, let's find out how alone he is. Hold on. Oh my goodness. He is actually completely alone. He has 0 followers. You know what I would like you guys to do? Just one of you. I would like one of you to follow KPKTDS on Twitter, please. Can someone do that? Someone follow him. Come on. We're not moving on with the live stream until someone does it, okay? So I'm going to refresh this page, and if no one's following him, then we're not we're not moving on here. 0 followers still, guys. This isn't good enough. Let's go. KPKTDS. Let's go. 0 followers still. We're not. I'm serious. Someone do it. Just one. He's not going to be alone. No, I'm not going to follow him. I don't follow people on Twitter. My ego is way too big. I'm trying to refresh here. I'm pressed F5. What do you want here? 100 followers. There we go. KPKTDS, you have 100 followers on Twitter. You have people to talk to. I don't know if they're going to pay attention or not, but I hope they will, because I think that the people who are tuned into this live stream, the people who watch Tech Tips on YouTube, are generally a cut above the rest of the internet garbage. And what I base this on is the quality of the comments on my videos, the quality of the chat that we have going on here, the quality of the conversations. It's good stuff, and they're good people, so now they are going to talk to you. Or they might not, and let's move right along. Okay. Charlie, what do I think of the TJ07 based murder box? I love it. I think it's expensive. I think if you want as good a case as you can pretty much get, Charles is the man. He started up in Vancouver. I actually I saved his butt once on one of his first murder boxes. He had a build that he had to get done. G3/8 fittings were really hard to come by, and I had a beautiful pair of them. I don't remember where I got them, but we had none in stock at NCIX. There was nothing local. He couldn't find anything. And he called me up. He said, Linus, do you have any G3/8 fittings? I have to finish this system. If I don't finish this system, it's going to be a big problem for me. It's going to be weeks to get more G3/8 fittings. And he does not believe in using anything but the best. So he was using a thermal chilled rad, no questions. They were not G1/4 back in those days. So I said, look, Charles, dude, all I've got is these ones. I'm saving these for my build. These are the nicest G3/8 fittings I've ever encountered. I've never seen any like them ever again. But I was like, look, dude, for you, they're yours. Didn't charge him for them, just gave them to him, and that's really the only story I have about Charles. But either way, I like him. I liked him. There, that's the point. I liked him enough to give up special fittings, and I'm totally OCD about things like water cooling fittings. If I have like the perfect, I mean, fittings all sucked back in those days. We didn't have bits power, so yeah. I like Charles. He's a good guy. Moving further down. Further down. Maurice says, how do I feel about the aesthetics of the Switch 810? And what do I think about the features it includes for the price? I think it's very plastic. I'm not much of a plastic guy, so there you go. And I saw someone asking in the chat about red versus brown switches. You know what? I'm not a big red guy. I love the K90 from Corsair. I love the backlight. I love the awesome aluminum baseplate. I do not love the red switches, and that's really, really preventing me from using that keyboard. So I would go browns over, I'd go anything over reds, pretty much. Steve wants to know what I think of ASRock's XFast RAM, XFast LAN, and XFast USB. Well, XFast USB is pretty straightforward because I think it just means USB 3. As for their XFast RAM and XFast LAN, yeah. Camargo says, go to Justin.tv instead. Admins on Twitch TV are pretty abusive. Well, you know what? I know a couple of admins over here. In fact, there was one watching at the start. Let me have a look if he's still here. Oh, no, there's a different staff. Sinwin. I don't know who that is. Let's see if he's abusive. I'm gonna totally like say something mean about him. I'm gonna say like Sinwin's dog has Tourette's. Bam. Oh, it's John. Oh, whatever. Whatever, John. No one cares what you think anyway. Come on, let's see you get abusive. Banned. I'll ban you. I'm going to try and ban him. I tried this once with Fuzzy. Oh, I can't even do it. Yeah. Oh, it's because I'm not logged in. Yeah. Yeah, bam. Anyway, okay, moving right along. So Twitch seems to want me on there, so I'm not going to defy them by moving over to Justin.tv because I think they could follow me over there and tell me to come back to Twitch, based on that they're somewhat affiliated. Queen Bugle says, how about a TJ07 unboxing? Great suggestion. Unfortunately, I mean, I've talked about the TJ07 a lot. I don't really have any handy to unbox, so there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But yeah, no, good idea though, good idea. Wait, Mikhail, no, I have lights. I don't have any of those other bands, but I do have lights in my music collection. Okay, you know what? I have another requested topic for tonight, and this is totally going to be boring for most of you, so you can tune out if you want, but someone asked me to talk about my bike gear. So I will be back in like 1 minute. I'm just going to go grab my bike gear, and we're going to talk about motorcycle safety. So I'll be back in like 2 seconds. I have a pretty sweet helmet though, so you guys should definitely stick around and check it out. All right. So if any of you guys are riders out there, then you've probably heard the phrase, all the gear all the time. I firmly believe that if you're thinking about riding a motorcycle, or if you're riding a motorcycle now and you're not doing this already, that you need to make sure part of your budget for learning to ride, make sure you get a course. Unless you have a super experienced rider to train you and show you what to do, and yeah, basically, yeah, make sure you get a course and make sure you allocate money for gear. So this is my RF 1100. This is my sweet ass helmet. Your helmet should be the first thing you buy. Yes, helmets are not that useful beyond about 60, 70 kilometers an hour, even 50. But if you get into a pickle and you hit your head, your intellect is your most valuable possession. You don't want to mess that up. So I actually did an unboxing video of this helmet way back when I got it. So let's go ahead and let's check that out here. I bet there's not that many like showy helmet unboxings on YouTube. Would there be? Showy helmet, here, there. Showy helmet unboxing. Oh, look at that. Hit number 1, like a boss. So here's me unboxing my helmet when I was like super excited. I'd never ridden a motorcycle yet. I got all my gear from, back then it was called newenough.com, but now it's called motorcyclegear.com. Pretty awesome. So here I am, like super excited about my helmet. So that's the same helmet I just showed you. See? See, it looks the same. Helmets are only good for about 5 years, and rule number 1 of helmets, never ever whack them on anything. Always put them down on the ground where they'll be safe and they won't fall, because as soon as your helmet falls and damages the protective material inside, it's totally useless. Okay, so boots. People underestimate the importance of boots. Paid a couple $100 for these. They're rainproof, in theory. Nothing's rainproof when it comes to motorcycle gear, something I discovered. They have reflectors on the back, totally useless because my pants cover them anyway. But what I do like about these is they're extremely ruggedly built. Very, very thick on the top so that you don't have any discomfort when you're shifting. And they have extra padding, extra armor built into things like the ankles. So these things are important. I was trying to explain to my mom, who just is learning how to ride a motorcycle now, the importance of motorcycle boots and motorcycle gear in general. And she said, oh no, you'll just, we'll wear hiking boots and, 2 pairs of jeans or whatever she thought she was going to be doing. She dropped the bike on the first day of training and hurt her ankle. And I said, Ma, if you'd had proper riding boots, it's worth the money. You wouldn't have had to deal with this. Boots are expensive. I paid a couple $100 for those, but I think it's worth it. Pants. Pants are important too. So you got armor in the knees. You got armor on the hips. I actually spilled my bike once. I spilled it on a wooden bridge in the rain. And really unfortunate. I wasn't going fast. I was going like 8 kilometers an hour. So I was 100% fine. Everything was okay. But I thanked my lucky stars that I was wearing my pants and my jacket. So I know anyone who rides is gonna see my textile gear and they're gonna be like, Linus, you have textile gear, you suck. Get leather. And you're right. I should be wearing leather. However, I use my gear in all types of weather. So rain, shine, I'm out there on my bike. So really leather's not an option for me. It will get destroyed quick fast the way that I use my gear. So for a jacket, couple important things. So this is one of the really cool tips that I picked up while I was shopping, is you don't size a motorcycle jacket the way you size a real jacket. So you see when I put my hand up like this, my wrist is exposed, the sleeve doesn't seem like the right length. That's for a really good reason. That's because when I'm on my motorcycle and I'm pulling back on the throttle, with my other hand of course, but I have to demo this, if the jacket fit properly and the sleeve was up here, it would be cutting off the circulation on the back of my hand. So that's why it always fits like this. You always test your motorcycle gear in a riding position, see if it sits in the right place, see if you got all your mobility, find out if the armor is going to shift. So this one's got armor in the elbows, this one's got armor in the shoulders, it's got a back protector. Usually get an aftermarket back protector. I should practice what I preach. I don't have one. But the ones that usually come in the jackets kind of suck. And this is about as waterproof as it gets for a motorcycle jacket, and it's not waterproof at all. And then my gloves. So I wear Alpine Stars gloves. These are SP Stella SP8s, yes, these are ladies' gloves because I have small lady hands, but they fit me absolutely perfectly. And the one thing where I splurged on leather, I spent over $100 on my gloves, was gloves because leather gloves are ballin'. Also, textile gloves generally don't have armor built into the back of them, which is extremely important. Even in my small spill, I fell over, whacked my hand on the back of the bridge. Had I not been wearing these knuckle guards, I don't know what would have happened, but you can actually see, I don't remember which hand it was. Yeah, it was this one, because the knuckles are all scuffed up and beat up from that one incident, and I thanked every decision that I made about gear. I was very thankful for it that day because my shoulder didn't get bashed up, my hip didn't get bashed up, my knee was okay, my ankle was fine, my hand was fine, and my head never hit the ground, but had it happened, I would have been fine as well, except I would have been out like $500. I would have had to buy a new helmet. So yeah, see? They fit perfectly. Fingers right in the ends. I have textile gloves too when I'm riding in the rain, so I just carry I carry an extra pair of gloves in the back of my bike. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for checking out the live stream tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you guys want to contribute in a bigger way to future live streams. You know, you want to ask questions, you want to just generally talk to me. The only way I really answer questions these days is via Twitter. So whether you like Twitter, whether you don't like Twitter, if I'm the only person you're following on Twitter, please do follow me on Twitter. I try not to do the typical Twitter thing. I don't have anyone else tweeting for me. I'm not tweeting about Miley Cyrus or trending topics. I'm tweeting about tech or, you know, sometimes my cats or badminton. I'm tweeting about the things that interest me, and I'm tweeting about the things that interest you. So if you guys want to interact, Twitter's pretty much the way to do it, and it's @LinusTech. And thank you, everybody. Good night, and I'll see you probably next week, probably around the same time.